Hi, we're going to show you the basic editing features in Filmora in order to produce your piano performance video. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you do is install Filmora and then open it. Let's take a look at the top here. You have your media, your audio, your titles, transitions, effects, elements, and split screen. You'll want to make sure to go to Media and then click the plus button in order to add your videos. You can highlight all three of the video files at once and click Open, and they will land here in your media bin. From here, you'll want to drag them down onto your timeline. Let's start with the front-facing cam on the bottom. It will ask you how you want to import it. You'll want to match the media. Move to your second shot, which is our overhead. And then third, let's drag the gimbal shot. The next step is to line up all the videos so that your fingers line up on all three shots. The easiest way to do that is to look at the WAV file forms and make sure that they all line up with each other. I like to move my cursor to an obvious point and then zoom in with this little feature here, and then drag the audio file over until they line up perfectly. Once you get them all lined up, you can zoom back out to see the entire project. Notice at the end, I have one of my videos sideways. You can drag this around. If you see this little handle, you can just turn it sideways until it snaps to grid, and then go ahead and push that to the top, and then drag this to the bottom until it fills the entire space of the video. The other thing that you'll want to do is trim the rest of these to the first spot. You have a lot of extra footage here, just trim them out. It's easy to trim, just click on it, hover over and drag it until it snaps to the grid here. Now you have to do the same thing at the very beginning. We'll want to scrub by dragging the red cursor over it until you find the spot in your video about there. Now let's select all of them and let's just clip the first part out. If you drag this over here and over there and over there, now these are the ones you want to keep. So we're going to just highlight these. We're going to drag this over to the beginning, and then I'm going to delete these ones here. Just click it, hit the delete button, and it's gone. Okay, now let's zoom in a little so we can see more. At this point, you'll want to separate the audio track from your video track. So you do that by clicking on it, right-clicking, and click on Detach. So let's detach the audio. Now you can see that it placed it in an audio track at the bottom. Let's go ahead and mute this track by clicking it and dragging it. We'll mute that track as well. And so you now have one audio and all the videos are lined up with each other. Okay, our next step is to start making splits. So let's just listen to it and see where we want to make our first cut to see the other video. We're going to start with this one on top. My space bar right here and stop. And I want to just highlight all three of these, and then I will click on the split. And it just put a split right here where I stopped it. I'm going to go ahead and listen to the next place I want to split it. Right there. Let me split back. Let me hit the space bar to start playing. And then I'll split again. I'll split again. And I'll split again. Okay, so now that I've made certain splits, what you can do is you can just remove those out of place. So if I just drag it over here, and then we'll play what that looks like. Very good. Now let's say I want to get rid of the top one and go to the very bottom. Now I want to go to the top. Let's just remove this one, remove that one. So let's take a look at this. I kind of like to just delete the ones that I'm not using here. Whoops. You'll have to maybe drag it over here and then delete it. I've found that it's a little tricky with this program. We'll just delete that one. Can't delete it. You'll have to instead drag it over here and then delete it. So now we've got our first cut here. We go to this view, and then we switch to this view, and then we switch back to this view, and then back to the gimbal view. And so the ones you're not using, just move over and just delete them. And then this one and that one, I think you can delete two at once. Okay, so we have our splits made. And now we are ready for our transitions. Let's go ahead and add a transition on the front side, and you'll do that by clicking on transition, and then you'll find the basic transitions here. I'm going to look for a fade. You can be creative, but I'm just going to drop a fade on the beginning and then a fade at the end. Let's see what that looks like. We'll hit the play button. That fade looks good. Let me look at the end and see if I like that one. I think I want it to start fading a little earlier. So the way you do that is you just click on the transition itself and you just drag it over to as long as you want. Let's hit the play button and see if it looks good. And that's pretty good. I like my fade there. Let's go ahead and add one more thing. Let's do a title. So if you go to your titles, there are so many options you can do. For this one, we're just going to grab something super basic. Come down here to the plain text, and we'll just add basic number 1. We'll just drag it over here and drop it at the beginning. Just double click it to edit, and then you can type the title. You can also change the sizing. So let's put it at about maybe a 32. And then we can also drag it to wherever we want in the clip. So if you come over here and you want it to show up right down here at the bottom, you just drag it into the place where you want it to be. Let's look at it and see if we like it. Click OK to save and hit the play bar. I think I would like to add a transition on that, and I don't want it to start at the very beginning. So again, you just drag to wherever you want it to start, and then add a transition by clicking on the transitions. And then let's just do this first one here at the beginning and at the end, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, I like that. Let's go ahead and produce. So the last step is to export the video. You click on export. And now if you have a free version, it will export it with a watermark. If you're just testing it out, go ahead and just export with the watermark. It'll ask you how you want to export it. We like this 1920 by 1080. I'm going to just say export. And then it will begin converting. Once it's finished exporting, you can click Find Target and it will show you where it saved it. Now you can upload this to YouTube and share it.